At noon, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students is back in court this afternoon. KREM 2's cameras are in the courtroom tracking it all.
And it's another summer-like day as we are tracking the next wave of showers and thunderstorms both this afternoon and evening.
Plus, Russian President Vladimir Putin is vowing the mercenary group causing problems will be brought to justice, calling them, quote, traitors. Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you here at the noon hour. I'm Tim Pham. We are starting things off with a look at your weather forecast because it's kind of a little bit overcast outside. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is in the Weather Center. Thomas, all morning you told us that there would be some storms today. So where are we seeing those storms right now?
Yeah, I'll have to say this, Tim. It was overcast.
Okay, it's been an hour since I was
It is
outside.
very much completely sunny by this noon hour. Just that sunshine cutting through, clearing out the clouds for now, allowing for the next wave of cloud cover to start to pop up throughout the day. So let's get right into Doppler radar and show you the trouble spots. This is very classic to see a lot of the shower and convective thunderstorm activity start over the mountains. They provide a little extra lift in the atmosphere. So there you go, right over the mountains of Ferry County. That is our first couple thunderstorm cells that we're seeing there. But it's not just there. Look over North Idaho, out towards right over Lookout Pass, both on either side of the interstate at the moment. So if you're traveling right through Kellogg and Wallace, might be running into some rainfall. But obviously, if you're looking off in the distance, you might be seeing these puffy cumulus clouds. It might just be a matter of time before we start to see this get closer to our more populated areas like Coeur d'Alene or Spokane or elsewhere. So we'll be watching that for the rest of the day today. There are your current temperatures, 75 degrees. Now that that sunshine is out, we are going to quite easily make it into the low 80s for today. So not just the thunderstorms, but the high summer heat is also on the way. Not quite today, but by the end of the week, we are going to start to trend up to around 90 degrees and then into next week, which of course is the 4th of July week as well. So we show you that pattern change coming up along with when our thunderstorms are most likely later on this evening.
In just an hour and a half, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students is expected to be back in court. The suspect is asking for a pause on proceedings against him so he can challenge his grand jury indictment. And he is asking for the grand jury records. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has been reading through court documents. He joins us now from the newsroom with more on what's expected to happen in court this afternoon.
Yeah, Brian Kohberger has 4 motion hearings at the Latah County Courthouse scheduled for today. They start at 1:30 p.m. Last month, a grand jury indicted him for the murders of Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan. So let's break down what we can expect to happen in today's hearings. In the first hearing, the defense has 3 motions requesting evidence from the prosecution. That evidence includes body cam video, cell phone analysis, every tip law enforcement received in the case, and DNA analysis reports. In the other 3 hearings, the suspect is asking for all of the documents from the grand jury that indicted him and time to review them. According to court filings, the suspect argues that it is his legal right to challenge his indictment and the release of the proceedings is necessary to ensure a fair trial. The state argues the suspect is only entitled to an audio recording or transcript from the grand jury. The suspect is also asking for a qualified protective order to maintain the sensitive nature of the records. Under this order, his defense team would have access to materials while strictly adhering to confidentiality rules. The defense is also asking for a pause on the proceedings if the judge allows the release of the grand jury materials. The judge is expected to make a decision on those requests today. KREM 2 will be in the courtroom where we will bring any updates on the KREM 2 news at 4 and KREM.com. In the newsroom, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Well, just yesterday, we learned that the Latah County prosecutor will be seeking the death penalty if Kohberger is found guilty. In newly released court documents, the Latah County prosecutor says the murder of 4 University of Idaho students was, quote, especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, adding the defendant acted with reckless indifference to human life.
Even if the jury believes that Kohberger is guilty, the defense attorney would still have an opportunity both to challenge the aggravating factors that the state intends to prove, as well as to present mitigating evidence as to why this particular defendant should not be put to death.
So that means the jury could find Kohberger guilty but not sentence him to death. In that case, he would be sentenced to life in prison. We learned Idaho has not executed someone in more than a decade. The state called off its last 2 executions because of a lack of the lethal injection drugs needed to carry out the sentence.
The companies that do make this drug are European countries, and they're no longer willing to sell it to the United States, as they have been for nearly 10 years now.
Beginning on July 1st, if lethal injection is not an option, inmates will be executed by a firing squad. After the state's announcement yesterday, we did receive a statement from the Consalves family attorney, Shannon Gray, saying, quote, "The Consalves family is grateful that the prosecutor's office is pursuing the death penalty. There is no one more deserving than the defendant in this case. We continue to pray for all the victims' families and appreciate all the support we have received." Now to the homeless crisis. A new report shows homelessness is up in North Idaho at least 6%. The point-in-time counts shows homelessness in 5 North Idaho counties went up between January of 2022 to January of 2023. So Bonner, Boundary, Benawah, Kootenai, and Shoshone counties took part in this year's count. Statewide in Idaho, homelessness climbed from 2022 by about 16%.